ओम नमो नारायणाय। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति। शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशव सूत्रभाष्य कृतो वन्दे भगवन्तो पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिण। ओम नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय। There is a Sanskrit sentence. It says, Itihasa Puranabhyam Vedam Upamhayet. That means, if you want to explain Vedas, you can take the support of Itihasa and Purana. Itihasa is Mahabharata, Ramayana and Bhagavata, and Puranas 18 plus 18, 36 are there. So, that is why now and then in the middle I will be telling some stories, and that does not mean we should go only with the stories. You should not put the cart before the horse. So, if you like this procedure, it is all right, or else we can give up the stories and go with the script, as you please. So, anyhow. So, first you want the stories or the scripture? Whatever Swamiji says. When we meditate, while meditating, I told you that 5 rules are to be followed. Name of the particular deity, its form, its attributes, its sport, and finally, feeling the presence. So, to think on the sports also is necessary. That is called Leela, number 1. And in meditation, say, we should not entertain unnecessary ideas. So, on 2 things, I will tell you the story. Once, a sage was sitting in Himalayas, started meditating. So, he has started meditating on the sports of Sri Krishna. And suddenly his meditation stopped. Why? There rose a doubt in his mind. Krishna is a single person. and he is having 16,108 wives. And with each wife he is having 10 children. It is not possible for a human being. How is it possible? Now I have to go to Dwaraka and see. So, what happened? The sage from Himalayas went to Dwaraka. Why I am telling? Sport is a sport. It is just like the magician showing the magic. Anyhow, this poor sage went all the way from Dwaraka and started seeing Krishna. And he found there, you see, with each wife, one Krishna is there. So a single man having 10 children, now my problem is solved. See, you should be able to understand the sport while meditating. What is the name of that sage? You know well. Who is that? Narada. Where he was sitting for meditation in the Himalayas. That is why, while meditating, try not to entertain the unnecessary ideas. Number one. So, you meditate on the sport, everything is possible for the Almighty. Nothing is impossible. Mayayam sarvasambhavaha. That's what Vedanta says. Now, the other thing is, we have to meditate on the sport. But every human being is having ignorance. Even the gods are having ignorance. So, Krishna, as a small boy, he was acting as a cowherd, went to the forest with all his friends. So, morning they used to take something, and when they go to forest, mothers used to give something for eating in the forest. So, you know well, he is having a friend and a classmate by name Sudama. You know well. So, this Sudama one day brought a small pot of this, what you call, yogurt churned and only chas, that is only, we say, buttermilk or something, buttermilk, so thin and this thing. And Krishna told, you give me to Sudama, right? I am not going to give. And the small pot, you see, it is earthen pot. So, Krishna was dragging this side and Sudama was dragging that side. In between, what happened is, because it is a small earthen pot, it has broken. And in some portion of that, something is remaining, so Sudama immediately took. And because he has taken so quickly, something was falling from his. You see, the small babies, they drink milk and something comes out, like that is coming. So, Krishna started licking his lips and other side. See, it is only sport. This, the creator Brahma saw. This thing, then it hai. We say it is incarnation. How can be an incarnation? Licking the lips of others just for little small buttermilk. So what he did? He has just taken away all the cows, cowherds, calves, all their clothing and everything he has kept in a cave and covered it. Now when Krishna comes and sees nothing is there, he is almighty, he is omniscient, all-pervading, he knows Krishna. So immediately he has transformed himself to so many cows, so many calves, and so many blankets, all the wearing whatever the shepherds were having, whatever is there, simply he has transferred and went back to their own homes. 1 year over. And everybody started liking their own calves and cows and shepherds, their children so much, because they are only changed form of Krishna. And suddenly Brahma remembers and sees the village. Everything is going on. Oh, somebody might have taken the cave door and they might have come back. He went and saw there. And there also everything is quite normal. And they are quite happy. And they are staying as it is. Then he thought, how is it possible? Then he remembered, oh, what I saw, it is my ignorance. Certainly he is the Lord of me. That's why he has taken so many forms. And starts praising Lord Krishna and releases all those things. So, while meditating on the sport, never entertain any other idea or say, never give any scope for this ignorance. How is it possible? It is only possible. How is it possible means it is only possible. So don't entertain any doubt while meditating. To this effect also I told you a story. You managed to forget. What story I told? I told that Rama was served by Sita and Lakshmana, and he was leading a happy life of householder's life. So all the say the brahmacharis of the Chitrakoot, they all said, we also want to marry. Brahmacharis. Then the fathers, they told, you see, it is very difficult to lead the householder's life. No, we are seeing Lord Rama that he is leading a very happy life. All right, what can be done? So they have calculated the brahmacharis and brahmacharins. Brahmacharis are more and brahmacharins are less. So when they are staying in one particular community, all should be married once. So what can be done? So all their fathers, they gave a stone to the remaining brahmacharis. You see, take the stone to river side and you should make a beautiful girl or whatever you will have, whichever way you want. So you just make that one and we will give life to that stone and you can marry that, everybody will be having. What the other brahmacharis were doing, they have lessened all their rights and duties because they have to go and do the sculpturing. In the meanwhile, what happened? Ravana took away Sita and there was so much of say mourning or whatever you may call. She was shouting and all these people heard. While she was taken away in the Pushpak Vimana, Sita was screaming. And so all these brahmacharis heard. And when brahmachari, what is this? They told, the wife of Rama was taken away. Then the brahmacharis asked, it will happen so? Is it possible? That is, it will be happening like this only, that they have confirmed. Oh, then we don't want to marry, they have given them. So, you should not think, can this happen? It will happen like that only. That means, it is only illusion. Remember, the whole world is only illusion. So, while meditating on the deity and while, say, chanting or other things, never entertain any sort of doubt. Samsayatma vinashyati. As soon as you raise a doubt in your mind, you are gone. That is why for all these things, they do tell stories. There is a aphorism, Lokavat Leela Kaivalyam. That is, that opponent asks, when God is a full-fledged man, full-fledged, he is not having any desires, and every human being in this world with a selfish motive only starts a work. See, first you should understand the question of the opponent. He says, God or Almighty, the Creator, is full-fledged man. Nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayevacha karmani. It comes in Gita. So, and in the worldly plane, we see every human being acts according to some wish. Some selfish motive will be there. And you say he is full-fledged, your God, not having desires, then he must be a madcap. See. Because without any selfish motive, he is creating so much. Then, Vyas Bhagavan, he gives the answer. Lokavattu Leela Kaivalyam. That means, the kings, ministers, wealthy people, they go to casino. What do you call? Casino or casino? Casino. Casino. What for? Simply to spend time and money, sport. So, in the same way, in olden days, these casinos were there, were not there. So, what they used to go? They used to go for forest for hunting, or they used to play this chess or something, or playing cards something. And you see the children, they make something and they break it. So that is what? That is all sport. So in the same way, you cannot tell the king is a madcap because he went to forest and because he is playing some playing cards or chess. So in the same way, this omniscient God is having a sport, because for the sport he has created. Actually, that is the answer, but in another place he says, he wanted to, after the dissolution, he wanted to give the fruits of the, that's why he is creating whatever it may be. That is also called sport. So, and again, Lord Shankara says, there may be some happiness behind the kings going to forest or playing, but even that much of, say, desire or happiness, omniscient God not having. Just sport for sport's sake. That is the answer. Now, if we go on with stories, our portion will be left behind. So, what we heard yesterday, the above direction is having the deity as fire, fixed in speech, speech fixed in heart, and quarters with their deities and support are one with the Agyamalkya. Now he says all the quarters with their duties, deities and support, the speech etc. are one with Agyamalkya. And he identified with name, form and action also. The directions, their deities, their support, and not only this, he has identified himself, name, form and action. Now, how he is experiencing the whole world in all the directions. I am pervading. Aham Brahmasmi. So, then Sakarya asked, and what is the heart fixed? See, then he says, you ghost, if it is somewhere else than the body, the dead body will be eaten away by dogs and crows. So, heart is fixed in him. That is in the body. The body is fixed in the heart. That means, I always tell, you are in the consciousness as consciousness is in you. Same thing. And he said, now again Sakalya asks, body is fixed in the prana, prana in apana, apana in vyana, vyana in udana and udana in samana. So, and describing the self, Yajnavalkya told, not this, not this. To tell, why he has told this? To tell the all-pervasiveness, that the self is not having gross elements, it is not having subtle elements, it is not having gross body, it is not having subtle body, but it is all-pervasive consciousness, homogeneous consciousness. But it is inapprehensible. Why? Because you cannot see or catch it with your sense organs. And it is undecaying, unattached. This thing is more important. It is not attached to anything. Again, come to Krishna. As we told, he is having 16,108 wives. Each wife was having 10 children. So now you can calculate, it becomes to 1,68,000. So they were all quarreling and they are dying. Krishna never went to separate their quarrel. What he was doing? He went to the forest and playing his flute, happy. If you are having something, you get attached to that, but Krishna is not attached. See? He is having the joy in himself. So it is called Atmaratihi Atmakridaha. That is why he is unattached and is unshackled, no injury in him, all these things. Yajnavalkya told. Afterwards he says, who knows Purusha draws everything into himself. See, he told 8 different things and 5 directions, and these 8 different things are in the Purusha, that is one's own self-consciousness. One who experiences that draws everything into himself. That means he identifies himself with that omniscient, homogeneous, all-pervading consciousness. Till this we have finished yesterday. Now, page number 794. Giving up the order of the narrative, coming out of it, the Shruti described expeditiously in its own form the Purusha declared by the Upanishads. Then, reverting to the narrative, it says, these are the 8 dwelling places described in mantras 10 to 17, such words as whose dwelling place is the earth, etc. This we have already covered. 8 varieties of the power of the vision, fire, etc. So, these 8 types of power also is there. 8 types of deities mentioned in nectar, etc. So, mantra 10. The 8 Purushas mentioned in same Purusha who is identified with the body, etc. I ask you, who think too much of your learning of that Purusha? Now, Yajnavalkya is asking Shakalya. You have asked about the Purusha, the individual that I have described, and you have asked about the directions, and that also I have described. Now I am asking you. See, Yajnavalkya is asking Shakalya. What he is asking? I ask you, who think too much of your learning? Shakalya thinks he is much learned. Of that Purusha who is declared by the Upanishads alone. I am asking you about the Purusha who is declared by the Upanishads alone, who is beyond the reach of any other means of knowledge. No other valid proof to describe that Purusha besides Vedas or Upanishads. No inference, no comparison, no direct vision, no perceptibility. So only one proof. What? Upanishads. That he says, who is devoid of hunger and all these things we heard, knowing decidedly these Purushas, beginning with the body, divided 8 groups, each of which consists of an aggregate of 4 things, dwelling places, etc. mentioned above, and setting them up in conformity with the state of universe. So, we have already heard that each deity is having each part is having a particular deity and fixed in something, and that is fixed in in your heart. These all things we heard. And regarding the quarters also, we heard who is there in the, say, north quarter, that is Soma, and where he dwells in the Diksha and initiation, and where he is fixed in the truth, and that truth is fixed in the heart. Like this, all these things we heard, that the scripture is telling to us again, to remind. So, consists of an aggregate of 4 things, dwelling places, etc., and setting them up in conformity with the state of universe. And all these things, again, only in one universe, withdraws them all together through the eastern quarters. So, from all the quarters, he withdraws everything into his self. That means he has expanded his heart so much to the whole universe. This we see in the life of Swami Vivekananda also. So one day night he was just strolling in the veranda of his room, and another Swamiji was there opposite, Swami Vijnanananda, who has constructed the Belur Mutt in 1936. He was, in those days, he was the superintendent engineer. So he asked, "What is Swamiji, why you are walking?" Says, "I am feeling terrible pain in my heart." Night, he could not sleep. What happened? He says, "I am hearing the loud screaming and their loud, they say, weeping, shouting. So much I am hearing. So I am not able to sleep," he says. So what happened? Next day when they saw, when they heard in the papers, etc., somewhere in America, some earthquake was there at that particular time when Swamiji woke up, and people were shouting and they have died. See, what it says, his heart is so much expanded. They don't see any difference, you see. Previously also we told about Swami Sivananda. So some people, they ask, "Hey, what is this Sivananda Maharaj? Give sannyasa even by postcard. Initiation by postcard." What is the idea behind that you have to see? Because you should not live like a frog in a well. You should not live like a frog in a well. The story you know well. So you should expand. What is the idea behind? Sivanji, say at least if he thinks, "I have taken sannyasa," then he will lead the life to that aim. His ideas will be changing. That's why I told even Sri Krishna, he says, if just he gets the idea, "I want to leave the house, I want to renounce for the sake of God," he is a Siddha, he says. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Out of lakhs, one comes out. Yatatam api siddhanam. Just if he comes out, he is called a Siddha. Well, the universal Lord is telling he is a Siddha. If the same thing is entertained by a saint, what wrong is there? He says he wanted to renounce, that's why I am encouraging him. No wrong in it. And this also I told you, see, in those days, in Sivananda Ashram, there was not much money. But still what Swamiji used to do, he used to just print these monthly magazines and distribute freely. Then some of the devotees came, you see, "Swamiji, you are wasting money. Nobody is reading these papers, your magazines." Then he says, what is the answer? They are simply, packing the popcorn, etc. in these papers. That was the complaint of the devotees. Then Swamiji says, "All right, we have distributed for 1,000 persons our magazine. Even if one fellow reads while eating the popcorn these sayings, his life will be changed. So that by that I am gaining so much." So you have to see how far the extended heart is going on. Don't simply with your mind like a frog in a well, in a worldly wise manner, you should not think. That's why the state of the mind of the great masters, very difficult to understand. from which standpoint they speak, how far they have developed. Have you developed so much? Simply throwing a comment on the big masters? How bad it is? So, the expansion of the heart, the great masters they are having, they think in those lines, not as you think. So, don't estimate and measure them with your petty mind, selfish mind, worldly mind, rather I say. So try to understand. That's why here he says, withdraws them all together through the eastern quarters into himself, into the heart, transcending all of them, being beyond the attributes of the limiting agent, such as identification with the heart. See, they identify with the omniscient, homogeneous, raso vaisaha, only blissed bliss. That's why, if you cannot properly describe him to me, your head shall fall off. After telling so much, what Yajnavalkya says, if you are not able to explain me about that Upanishad Purusha, for this also the commentator gives the reason. Simply he has not told, your head will fall. Previously, that is, this Brihadanyaka is having 8 chapters. Brihad-Aranyaka, Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka and Upanishad. 4 portions were Vedas. So the Aranyaka portion is having 8 chapters. In that, 2 first chapters were taken off and the remaining 6 chapters they made Brihadanyaka Upanishad. In that 2 chapters, it is full of sacrifices, rituals, actions. So, in that also a discussion comes between Shakalya and Yajnavalkya. So, there he gave a curse. There Yajnavalkya gave a curse to Shakalya. That it is coming in the commentary. So Shakalya did not know that Purusha declared by the Upanishads, his head fall off. Here ends the story. He, Shakalya, did not know him, etc. is a Shruti passage. Yajnavalkya is not speaking, Shakalya is not speaking. But the Shruti, what he says, he did not know him. This scripture is telling to us. Is the Shruti passage. Besides, thieves stole even his bones as they were being brought home by his disciples to perform the funeral. Why? Because they took them for something else, such as wealth, etc. Gone. So, no funeral rites. Why all this happened? Now the commentator is telling. A bygone incident. What is this bygone incident? Where it has come? In the first 2 chapters of Brihad-Aranyaka, but not Brihad-Aranyaka Upanishad. Upanishad is only 6 chapters. First 2 chapters is Aranyaka. In that a discussion has come. He says, a bygone incident is here referred to. There is a discussion between Yajnavalkya and Shakalya ending in a similar manner as it has ended here. In the Ashtadhyayi, now we say Ashtadhyayi means having 8 chapters. Satapada Brahmana, this Brihad-Aranyaka is having 2 portions. The Brahmana portion is Satapada Brahmana. And 2 types of Brihad-Aranyaka is there, Kanva and Madhyandina. Little differences are there, but that he is not mentioning. But the first 2 portions or chapters are called Shatapada Brahmana. There a curse was uttered by Yajnavalkya. At a place far from being holy, you will not die in a holy tithi, not in a holy star. Or you shall die on an inauspicious day. That's why your soul will become a ghost, naturally. And your bones shall not reach home. All the three things happen. In an inauspicious day and in an inauspicious place, and bones also have not reached. That was the curse given by Yajnavalkya even before. Now also again he told, ghost, stop. He has not stopped, so what to do? Out of compassion he told, they have made you a tongue. What is called? Tongue. So you are burning and burning. And I am the fire. Don't catch me. That's why when elders say we have to hear, we should not discuss why they are telling like that. In Tulsi Ramayana they say, Mata Pita Guru Prabhu ke Vani Vinaya Vichar Karahu Subhajani. Mother, father, teacher and scriptures, or master and scriptures. Whatever they say, without asking, simply you obey, it will be good for you. Subhajani. They are telling this only for your good. So don't ask why you are telling like this, why I should do, what you will get. As you accept scriptures, so accept the master, so accept the father and mother. Otherwise you will be at danger. Because in some places we think we are very intelligent than the father and mother. We think we are very intelligent than father and mother. So even they, because out of compassion they say, all right, you do whatever you like. Because they are having that love. That's why they don't forego you. So he says, in that very manner he died, and thieves stole his bones, taking them for something else. Therefore, one should not censure anyone, for a knower of Brahman is ever honorable. That's why he says, you should not censure the knower of Brahman. That is there. But before that, what he says? One should not censure anyone. The same coin will be returned to you. If you get angry and scold somebody, if you scold for 1 minute, you will get 1 hour scoldings through somebody. And if you want to be a real aspirant, mark the words. If you want to be a real aspirant, the first rule of Karma Yoga and the last rule of Bhakti Yoga is one. What? Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. Feeling the presence of God everywhere. If you practice that, how can you scold others? How can you get angry? How can you otherwise? Because we are so intelligent, we forget at each and every moment that God is within us, God is everywhere. This much we cannot remember. That is our state. So, the narrative is brought in here in order to teach proper behavior and to praise the knowledge. Proper behavior, he says. Don't scold anybody. What to talk of the realized persons? So, and to praise the knowledge. Knowledge is praise. This is realization. Knowledge means not ordinary knowledge. So here you see, recently I was telling our Parbanji one incident. There was a Swami in Mysore under whom I was there, and simply one day he told, because householders were taking care of that ashram, and somebody might have told him something. He is not so intelligent and he is not so much having academic qualification, etc. So somebody came and told, you see, you have been working here for the last 3 years, and these householders, they have not made you anything. So at least you ask them to make the trustee of the ashram or something, so that he told, somebody must have suggested him. And this Swamiji is so much intelligent. So immediately he went and asked the cashier, and the cashier's father was the president. So after your father's passing away, you should make me the president. That means he is giving a curse to his father. And they are householders. They are there to do their business and they are selfish. There they are not sitting to meditate on God, to realize. This Swamiji could not understand. So they made some incident, accusation or false accusations, and they have removed him. To give a false accusation, you should need a witness. So somebody gave witness. What happened? After a few days, his eyes are gone. Hail, healthy person, because he has given a false witness. That's why the scripture says, don't accuse anybody. And that's why again I say, if you want to be a real aspirant, if you want to realize the highest happiness in this very life, if you want to really meditate on the Almighty God, then never curse anybody. Same thing will return to you. If you do in this life, if you don't get the results in this life, in the next life you are going to get. Na bhuktam kshiyate karma janma koti shatairapi. Without enjoying the fruits of the actions, you may take lakhs of births, it will not leave you. But there is only one way how to get rid of these all actions, the fruits of the actions. Get knowledge. When you want the knowledge, you have to experience this self. When you want to experience this self, your all character and all your behavior, everything should be good. These are all, we can say, interconnected, whatever it may be. How is it possible to indicate through an injunction that Brahman, which has been spoken of by denial of everything else? So now you see, in the chapter of Gargi, Yajnavalkya gave Astulam, Ananu, Hasvam, Adhirgam, all by negating. That he is referring here has been spoken by the denial of everything else, all the attributes. Now, how is it possible to indicate through an injunction? scriptural injunction, vidhi, it is called vidhi. There it is nishedha. And another thing is there, anvaya and vyatireka in the language of logicians. Anvaya and vyatireka. So, now you see, wherever pot is there, their clay is there. You agree? Wherever pot is there, clay is there. But wherever clay is there, pot is not there. Because clay is universal. So, one is called Anvaya and another is Vyatireka. So, the second one is called negation, the first one is called injunction. They put in that way and we put here in this way. So, everything else has not this, not this. In order to explain this, as well as the cause of the universe, now, in order to explain the all-pervading consciousness through an injunction, and then what? To declare the cause of the universe. This Shruti reverts to the narrative again. Till this, from the beginning, which we started today, is all scripture was speaking to us. Now it again goes back to the story. The essence of the narrative is that one may take the cattle by winning over those who are not knowers of Brahman. See. So, knowing the procedure, then invoke Yajnavalkya said. Then why they have explained such a big story? Janaka kept 1,000 cows and horns were bedecked with gold, and whoever can explain the Brahman well can take away. Why all these things? That is giving answer. He says, the essence of the narrative is one may take the cattle by winning over those who are not knowers of Brahman. See. So, knowing the procedure, then invoke Yajnavalkya asked. Now, he says, Ataho vacha brahmana bhagavanto yo vaha कामयते सा मा पृच्छतु सर्वे वा मा पृच्छत यो वह कामयते तम व पृच्छामि सर्वान् वा वह पृच्छामीति तेह ब्राह्मणा न ददृशुः. Then said the Yajnavalkya, revered Brahmanas, see, though he is the foremost scholars, he says, is giving. In the beginning also he told, when Shakalya started questioning, I bow down to the realized Brahmanas. We are running a school or what, a Gurukula. So we need cows, that's why I am taking away the cows. He never told, I am the biggest scholar, I am the rarest person. He says, that is obedience. That's why in some of the Christian monasteries they say three things: chastity, poverty and obedience. You must be knowing well. Even in that book, Thomas A. Kempis, Practice of, what is Thomas A. Kempis, what he wrote? Practice of presence, imitation of Christ. So in that it comes. Chastity, poverty and obedience. There he says another thing. The more you are attached to yourself, you will be more profited. Sell in the sense, you spend as much time as you can in meditating God in your room. Or the cell means the heart. See? So, when the Brahmanas became silent, he said, addressing them, revered Brahmanas, he who from among you desires, I shall question. Yajnavalkya may approach me and question, or all of you may, or I shall question him among you who desires. Let Yajnavalkya question me, or I shall question all of you. The Brahmanas, although thus addressed, were not interpreted to give anything whosoever by way of reply. So, in the translation of the mantra it comes, he who from among you desires may question me, all of you may, or I shall question him amongst you who desires me to do so, or all of you. But the Brahmanas were not interpreted. They are feared so much. So, they are not having so much of courage to ask. So, naturally what happens? Yajnavalkya should ask them. Now, as I told you, it is the discussion. So, this is not Vadakatha between the master and the disciple, but it is not Vitanda, it is Jalpa. It is called this discussion or whatever we call. So, in this what happens? There, to win over others, discussions will be started. So, when everybody has asked, he has given all the answers. Now he will ask everybody. Then, if somebody asks, somebody answers, then only he will be losing the game. Or else, if nobody answers, but what the question he has put, that he should answer for all of them. Then only he wins the game. So, in this way, Tan Hete Sloka Prapacha, he has asked, Yajnavalkya has asked all the Brahmanas, Yatha Vruksho Vanaspatis Tathaiva Purusho Amrisha Tasya Lomani Paranani Tvagasya Utpatika Bahihi. He asked them through these verses, as is a full-grown tree, so certainly is man. This is not untrue. As is hair to him, so are leaves to it. As it is skin, so is its bark. So he is comparing the individual to a tree. As the Brahmanas were not interpreted, he asked them through the verses which are going to be expressed. As is a full-grown tree, the word Vanaspati, full-grown tree means Vanaspati. And Oshadhi Vanaspataya, they say. By these things, man is getting food and is growing. What is Oshadhi? All the grains, the rice, paddy. For paddy we get the rice, and all the wheat, and so many types of grains, all the pulses. These are all called Oshadhi. What is Vanaspati? Vanaspati, they say, just like a mango tree. Every year it will be giving fruits. So, Vanaspati is the bigger one. Goes for less, just like a jackfruit. If you go to Kerala, only you see jackfruits everywhere. You went to Kerala? Big heaps they put and they sell. And every tree hanging so many fruits in all the seasons. So, one jack tree gives fruits for many years. But one crop gives the wheat or paddy only once. So, that is called Oshadhi. This is called Vanaspati. A tree is called a Vanaspati, and that's why Lord Shankara says, Bhikshaushadham bhunjatam. That aushadham, which comes from Oshadhi, is called Aushadhi. It is not medicine. This is all from whatever grains and other things you get through alms, that only you should take. Bhikshaushadham bhunjatam. Is a qualifying term for the tree. So certainly is a man. This is true. As hair is to him, so are leaves to it. As is his skin, so is it external bark. Now another sloka says, Tvacha evasa rudhiram prasyandi tvacha utpataha tasmat tadatranat praiti raso vrukshad vrukshadi ahatat. Vrukshad iva ahatat. Vrukshad iva ahatat. That means from his skin gushes blood, and from the bark oozes out sap. So when a man gets wounded, blood flows as sap from a tree that is cut down. From a man's skin gushes blood, and from the bark of a full-grown tree oozes out the sap, because in every respect a man and a full-grown tree are same. Therefore, when a man gets wounded, blood flows as sap from a tree that is cut down. He is comparing the tree and the man. Question he has not put. It will, after completing the comparison, then he puts the question. మొన్న ఎక్కడ మొదలు పెట్టాము? అచ్చా 4, 5, 6, 7. సో మాంసాన్యస్య శకరాణి కినాట స్నావ తస్థిరం అస్థీని అంతరో దారుణి మజ్జాం మజ్జోపమా కృత. His flesh is its internal bark, and his sinews, its inmost part of the bark. Both are strong. His bones lie underneath, and so is its wood. His marrow is compared to its pith. Like this he has compared. Likewise, a man's flesh is the internal bark of a full-grown tree. A man's sinews are comparable, the innermost part of the bark of a tree that lies beneath the internal bark and attached to the wood. So, the man is having a nervous system. Nervous system starts from the head, and it goes to the all through the body. So like that, the internal bark, it is very strong for the tree. That's why you see, a man may be healthy. If something goes wrong with his nervous system, he loses his mind. Both are strong like sinews. A man's bones lie underneath the sinews. Likewise, underneath the inmost bark is the wood. Here you see, now you are also doing here, what you are doing, you are injecting something into the coconut tree. So it goes to the all the tree. That means there also circulation system is there. That's why it goes. and you pour water below, and you get coconut water above. That means it's sucking. So it says, as circulatory system is in your body, so it is there. Nervous system is there, there it is also. And you are having skin, it is also. And when it is cut, sap comes out, and here. That's why without a proper purpose, we should not cut down trees. And now in India also it has become a very strict rule. Even you are having a tree in your garden, in your house, without permission of the government, you should not cut it. And if a sandalwood is growing, if they come to know, it is their property, not your property. You are growing it. What all these things they have done? Because you see, because they are cutting down the forest, because the rain is coming less and less. This globe is getting heated up. That's why they made this rule. Recently, some 10 years back or so, not before that. So, but they make the rules, and they trespass the rules. They are politicians, and they are. We fought for a small land piece behind our ashram. Say more than 12 or 13 years we have been begging the government. And all officials are so bad. We have to bribe them and bribe them. Every time, if one paper wants to go from this to that side, in those days, 40,000, 60,000 rupees. 60,000 means how much? $1,500 just to move a paper from one office to another office. Like this 12 long years we tried. Finally what they told, this is reserved forest, we cannot give. They have not given. Small piece. For our cows grazing we wanted, they have not given. Immediately after 2 years what they did, they have cut off so many trees and other things, they have constructed buildings. Who is going to catch their mouth? They say, this is reserved forest, it cannot be cut, we cannot give. And what you are doing? Nobody to ask. That's why he says, politicians. It goes like that.
Same thing happened to Shivananda also, Divine Life Society. They are also having a lot of land behind when you go. That's all forest land. So they had to struggle a lot to get that.
But they got.
Construct anything in that land, but that is only for cow grazing and all this. So Shivananda Ashram has also to fight, but they have their own resources.
That's what they got.
Get it. Even then, none of the ashram nor anyone can construct anything in that land.
But they are having the boundary. We also wanted like that only. Just little boundary for cross grazing. Whatever it may be. So we should not cut the trees. It is, say, almost like a man, a living jiva, we can say. Because of their past, it has become like that. Likewise, underneath the inmost bark is the wood. A man's marrow is compared to the pith of a full-grown tree, meaning there is no difference between them. As is the marrow of a man, so is that of a full-grown tree. Now, yad vriksho vrkno vrvano either. Vrkno rohati भूलान्नवतरः पुनः मर्त्यस्मिन् मृत्युना वृक्णकस्मान् मूलात् प्ररोहति. Now this is the question. See, if a tree is cut down, it shoots up afresh from its root again. From what root does a man spring up when he is cut off by death? So this is the question. If a tree is cut down, it shoots up fresh from its roots again. If you remove with roots, it is gone. From what root does man spring up when he is cut off by death? So, all the Brahmanas could not reply. So many learned scholars were there. What is the answer? Will be given tomorrow. Because you see, only 2 days more and only little portion is there. Now, if you want to ask any questions, you can ask, or else, if you want a story, I will try to remember some story. You are all like small children, only stories and stories. Of course. Balyena Tishta said.
Stories help us in understanding the subject.
At least try to ask something related to the subject. But a story means, now we got to see, we are all spiritual aspirants. You agree for this? But at times, the aspirants, they entertain some doubts. What doubt? When I will realize, whether I will realize or not. 2 doubts. Whether I will realize or not, or when I am going to realize. 2 types of doubts. Swami Sivanji says, everything depends on your efforts. Everything depends on your efforts. The more and more efforts you do, you can cleanse the mind early. You can remove all the impressions from your subconscious mind. Mind gets concentrated, and you can meditate on the deity or the Atman or the consciousness, whichever it is. It becomes very easy. So for this, our master used to give an example. That is the story which I remembered. In India, all villages, many villages, but every small village is having a railway station. That I think Pranava knows. And a villager, he came by some other vehicle or something to a particular village for some business. He has finished that work. Now he wanted to return back to his village by train. So he was going on the way. He asked, this is the way to station? Yes, this is the way. Then he has asked the one person, just he was coming by say walking, how much time it will take? That fellow keeps quiet to reach the station. Second time he has asked, How much time it will take to reach the station? No reply. Again a third time, how much time it takes to reach the station? No reply. He is walking. And this fellow thought, you see, this fellow is not replying. If I don't reach the station quickly, I may miss the train. So he started running. Who? Who has asked. Then this fellow calls me, come, 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 I will tell you. Now you will reach within 10 minutes. So that is the effort. I don't know your velocity, I don't know your speed. How can I tell when you will reach? So everything depends on your efforts. Everything is within you. And how can you say whether they should not? I told you, you should never entertain any doubt whether I can realize God or not. This is a foolish question. At least when I will reach for that, some answer we can give, it depends on our efforts. When everything is there within you, that what we learned through scriptures, and again, how can you ask whether I will realize or not? And somebody puts some other peculiar question, can I see God in this life? Day to day you are experiencing. These are the ways to experience. So you follow, that's all. That is why in this life you see, we should never entertain any doubt on the scriptures or on the teachings of the masters, and never lose faith in yourselves. Never lose faith. Yes, I can do, I will do it. Do or die. 3 very simple teachings I gave you. Do or die, never, never. And then the third one, never, never, do or die. I like this, another also is there. Do or die.
In English it says do or die, don't ask why.
Don't ask. No. Here, only this is. Don't ask why. Do or die, never, never, be and make. The third word is be and make. First you realize. Without realizing, without knowing, don't start teaching others. First you learn thoroughly anything you want to teach others. Atmana mokshardham jagadita. Be and make. Be and make, do or die, now or never. If you see in the effort, if we lose our life, it is good, for good cause we have left. So that is called do or die. Never, never. Don't delay in starting these practices. And first you realize something, you experience something, you practice something, then teach others. Be and make. That's all. So all right, Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate